that you are having a great day. Welcome back to What I'm On Today. My name is Lakia Chanel, and I make videos about luxury handbags and overall financial wellness. And today I am super excited because this is our second Money Tip Tuesday. If you missed our first Money Tip Tuesday, we talked about creating a budget and why it is important. So if you don't have a budget, or you're wondering why a budget is important, please check out that video. Also, today we're going to be talking about saving for small emergencies. And I would suggest that you need a budget in place in order to do that, okay? So if you don't have a budget, check out that video because you're gonna need a budget to start saving. So the goal of this video is for us to create a savings plan so that we have short-term savings. Short-term savings are really for emergencies. Life happens, our car breaks down, some other thing happens that we are not expecting, and we have to come up with money now. And a lot of times, if you don't have a savings in place or an emergency savings fund in place, you are really subject to using some of the money for your financial monthly obligations for those emergencies. And we don't want to be in a position where we're not able to pay our light bill or our rent or our car payment because we had an emergency. So we want to prepare for what we already know is going to happen because life always happens. So here are some things that have worked for me in creating a short-term emergency fund, and hopefully they'll work for you as well. So first off, we want to figure out what number is good for an emergency fund. I would say $1,000 depending on your lifestyle. Most emergencies, your car breaking down, drop 3 dots, an extra bill that you weren't expecting, usually they're around, $1,000 or less. If you find that in your particular lifestyle that your emergencies are way more expensive than $1,000, then you may want to change that number. Perhaps you want to have a $5,000 short-term emergency fund. Whatever the number is, you know your budget, you know your lifestyle, you pick a number. For the purpose of this video, we're going to talk specifically about $1,000. So our goal is to get $1,000 together as soon as possible so that we can prepare for life and emergencies that we know will happen, and we won't have to worry about taking from our regular financial responsibilities in order to pay for those emergencies. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to be able to budget for this savings. We have a budget. We know that we can pay our bills now. So now we want to throw all of the extra money that we can that are outside of paying for our 4 walls. We want to throw that money toward this savings fund. Again, our goal and objective is to get to this savings fund as soon as possible. If you already have $1,000 on hand, then great. You got to it, put it in an account, and don't touch it. For those of us who are saving toward this $1,000, we want to get in a position where we are putting any extra money toward saving for this $1,000. So that means that we might make some sacrifices. We might not eat out for several weeks. We might not buy those shoes or purse that we want. Our goal is to take any extra money that we have and throw it toward this $1,000 savings, okay? So that is the first thing. So we want to be able to put that in the budget as well, because remember, we're telling our money where to go. So we already know how much money we have left over every single month. We can pop that in the budget so we make sure that it goes to savings, okay? So once we've been able to actually save that money, we want to make sure that we put it in an account that we can't easily access. So we're not going to put it in our checking account. We're not going to put it in our savings account that we use all the time. We're going to put that money in an account that is not easily accessed by our checking account. We don't want to be in a position where we can be distracted and use that money for other things that we want that are not emergencies. You know yourself, I know myself. My emergency fund, my short-term emergency fund, is in a totally separate account in a totally different bank than my checking and my savings, because I know me. I have to actually transfer the money, and it takes about a day or 2 to transfer the money in order for me to access it, right? So that actually works for me, and I would advise that you guys do something similar. It doesn't have to be at a different bank, but it cannot be in your checking or your savings account. The third thing I would say is to, if you have the ability, put it in a high interest savings account. Pre-COVID, you could get 2.5%, 3% in a high interest savings account. Right now, I think the average is about 1.1%, but either way, that is still better than the 0.09% that you would get at your regular checking account. I use Marcus for my high interest savings account, but I know that Capital One has one. Allied Bank has one. I'll put those down in the comment box below because there are a lot of ones that are trusted, tried and true that work really, really well. But you want to, if you have the ability for your money to make any type of money for you, even if it's a small amount, it is really, really good to be able to do that, okay? So now we've budgeted, we've got our $1,000, we have it in a separate checking or separate saving account that hopefully is getting a little bit higher interest than a normal savings account, okay? So we are good to go. So what do you do when life happens? Life happens, you're gonna have to use the money. That's why we have it, right? So when you have to use the money for an actual emergency, you must make sure that you pay yourself back. You always want to have that $1,000 in an account regardless. So if you have to use the money, which you undoubtedly will, you want to make sure that you replace the money that you used with the same vigor that you used to actually put the money in the account in the first place. You should always have your $1,000 no matter what, because you want to make sure that you are always prepared for all emergencies, okay? So make sure that you are replenishing your funds. You want to make sure that you are saving in a different account, that you use it only for emergencies, that when you use it, you replenish it. And there you go. You have $1,000 emergency fund, so you have a little bit of security for an emergency. And you don't have to worry about using your bill money for your emergencies. So thank you so much. Let me know if you have any specific questions on how to save or where to save for this emergency fund. Definitely put the comment below if you have any other questions. Like and subscribe, and I look forward to coming back to you next Tuesday with another Money Tip Tuesday. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.